McCarthy is a good coach. Going off of that, I want your guys' opinions on one of the biggest free agents now that are, and I'm gonna go and make a comparison with Robert Griffin III situation to Lamar's situation where he held out at the playoffs. RG3's like, hey, I once went out there and put my career on the line for my boys and my teammates, and it ultimately ended up costing me my career. Then there was Mike Vick who went and said, hey, this is the playoffs. You get out there and you go and play your all, and you give it all. You put a brace on and you fight through. What's your guys' take on that? Because I'm necessarily going and agreeing with Robert Griffin here, even though Mike Vick's probably my favorite quarterback of all time. I'm agreeing with Robert Griffin to where if you want to have a longevity career, and the Ravens necessarily, when you played phenomenal for them and won an MVP at one point in 2020, you weren't ever paid and you weren't ever secured. Now, I think he would have went in and played in the playoffs if he had a security with a contract. What's your guys' takes?
Yeah, man, I have to agree with RG3, like you said, too, because Lamar has to feel undervalued. You know what I mean? Like you said, he won the MVP. Dude, he has that under his belt. He's played great for Baltimore, and they just haven't offered him his money yet, man. So he's probably thinking, like, why should I go out there and hurt myself for them if they're undervaluing me? You know what I mean? So I 100% agree with RG3. Like you said, too, Michael Vick's probably my favorite quarterback of all time as well, but I also like RG3, and I know he's a mentor for a lot of these young quarterbacks, too, so I'd have to agree with him.
No, I mean, I agree. I think Baltimore, wouldn't pay him this past offseason. He took a little bit of gamble. And then once you have any sort of, I think he just, he got hurt. And it's just, at that point, let's just be safe about it. I mean, he might not be 100%. I thought he was 100%. I thought he was doing, a little holdout thing. And I don't know, maybe it's not. Maybe it is. Who really knows? But I think, it is a smart decision. I think sitting out and keeping yourself healthy and getting your money, because he was a later round pick. What round was he?
First round, 32nd.
Oh, he was overall.
First. Yeah, the Ravens traded the Vikings that season for the 32nd pick to get him, or something. I think the Vikings had the 32nd.
You get a little bit of money from that first round, but
not when you're the 32nd. Yeah.
No. Now he's gonna get the real money. So it's you work this whole time, you're not going to blow it and not get your big bag.
And so, he's his own agent,
Yeah, you're just making a good financial decision in life, not just about football.
And longevity of his career.
Yeah, I was going to say, and your health too, for sure.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you guys. If he really wants that big contract coming up next year, whether if it's with the Ravens or not, which it's probably not going to be, this is better for him. I mean, yeah, you want to play in the playoffs, but at the same time, if they're not valuing you what you think you are, or if you're not 100% healthy, then have a long career over just a short-term satisfaction,
Yeah, I agree with you guys and RG3. As much as the NFL is a dogfight, no pun intended to Mike Vick.
Okay. Okay.
It's a business, and every NFL player is their own business, so they got to protect that. I mean, if he's gonna go out there and mess up his knee, he has potentially no more years left in his career. So
Big E, dude.
Big E.
You're an Eagles fan here. You're talking on your guys.
Hey man, what happened.
Hey, you're a big dog guy. You like your dogs.
Oh, okay.
I'm a big dog guy too, but that doesn't mean anything from
Steve
the game.
Dogs.
He's still a great quarterback, but
yeah, we know Steve likes the dogs there.
I mean, I got my little guy, dude.
He plays Who Lets the Dogs Out every morning.
Oh yeah. Can you guys see then? Can you guys see then Tyler Huntley kind of being in the Ravens guy for a year or two? What I could see happening is, don't blow this out of proportion now. We're gonna see a double franchise tag with Geno Smith and Lamar in a swap of quarterbacks.
That's interesting.
Yeah, no, I don't think the Seahawks are. I don't think they're doing that.
Well, they have the cap room.
They do.
They
They
did come
do,
on.
yeah.
I think the Seahawks are trying to draft somebody like C.J. Stroud if they're able to.
No, they're not.
He'll go too early.
I think so too, but I think if they can maybe make some sort of move to try to get him, I think they'll do
They
it.
could trade
Why
him to
not?
Chicago.
Yeah, maybe a field swap.
Yeah.
I wonder what they're gonna do with Drew Lock.
He'll be a backup the rest of his career, probably.
Yeah, probably.
I like Drew Lock's swagger though. I thought he was going to go and get the start.
Yeah.
Going off of Lamar and RG3, a big name now because I guess they haven't ever been living up to their potential, which I thought this team, the season after they drafted Kyler Murray, were going to go and make sparks when they got D-Hop. But talking about Arizona and D-Hop situation, in 2020 when he got traded over, he's his own agent. He signed a 2-year, $54 million deal, which will keep him in Arizona or any team that he gets traded to up until 2024. My realistic thing is that they should keep him. It's kind of whatever. But rumors is that they're trying, again, they're going to probably go on a sort of a little, hey, let's remove some of the older guys. D-Hop's going to be 31. I think he's 31. I can see a big trade happening to get him to New England. They need firepower there with the receiver. Bill Belichick and him have chemistry. Bill Belichick has high praise for D-Hop. Can see D-Hop being a Patriot. Your guys' opinions if he stays or if he gets traded?
I think – go ahead, Ethan. You're good.
All right. That's exactly what I was thinking, him going to the Patriots. I mean, Belichick, he's already said in the past he thinks he's one of the best receivers he's ever coached against. You know, he is – like he called him like – he said he was like had the best hands he's ever seen. So I can definitely see him going to the Patriots. They definitely need a big receiver like him because even in 9 games this year, he still had which is half a season. He had 64 catches, 700 yards. You know, if he plays the whole season, he has over 110 receptions, 1,400 yards. So like he's still a top 10 receiver for sure.
Have you seen like the reports that all right, maybe Chicago?
Yeah, but I feel like he'd fit in New England better.
Yeah, and I don't see like Chicago again for a receiver like D-Hop is kind of ideal for him to want to go to. Like, It's not that, all right, hey, Justin Fields needs the pieces around him to go and actually get this. I'm sorry to say, like, D-Hop will not probably play in Chicago. I mean, they have the cap room, but
he wouldn't want to go from one rebuilding team to another.
Exactly, because they're not proven yet. You know what I mean? They're the first overall pick in a draft. Who wants to really go and especially when you're 31, receivers don't make it really past 32.
Yeah.
You know, so this is his maybe like he's still playing at a high level, but at the same time, this is maybe a decline too, to where they're like Arizona's like, oh man, we gave him this big contract. We're paying him $25 million a year. So, if you guys got any on that on D-Hop, what's your opinions?
I think it'd be wise for them to keep him, man. But if he goes anywhere, there's actually 3 places I could see him going. New England's my top spot that I could see him going. 2, me and Dylan talked about it a couple weeks ago, is Dallas because they have the money to afford him. And honestly, in my opinion, CeeDee Lamb plays his best football in the slot. If they have somebody outside like that, they can utilize CeeDee Lamb in the slot a lot more, and I think that would be extremely effective for them. And another one, man, that you guys might not think is Baltimore, because who do they really have? You know what I mean? But with New England, man, is they need a quarterback too. So my question is, if Mac Jones requests a trade, dude, then do they move on with Zap? Or does bringing in somebody like DeAndre Hopkins open up room for them to bring in quarterback talent because now they have some receiving talent?
Mac Jones is that guy. I like Mac Jones. He reminds me of Tom Brady. There's a reason he was named a Pro Bowler. once Matt Patricia came and started calling the plays and became their offensive coordinator, Matt Patricia was the Lions head coach. They sucked. And when he was in New England, he was strictly, his first stint in New England, he was strictly a defensive coordinator. Stick to being a defensive coordinator. There's also the reasons where Mac Jones is going to have those times where, hey, all right, me and Belichick are button heads. But when you're the franchise guy and we drafted you in the first round,
Bite the bullet.
there's a reason. Yeah, like Matt Patricia is not an offensive guru. You know, he's not an offensive coordinator.
He requested a trade though, man. So
I think that was just rumors circulating. I don't think anything was.
But I was
true
just
off
saying,
that.
like, if he did request a trade, does signing somebody like Hopkins open up for like talent to want to come there?
Go ahead, Cam. I'll go last then.
I'm thinking D-Hop could go to this isn't really a rebuild team because they got guys coming back from injury next year, but I think the Los Angeles Rams could use another wide receiver because you got Cooper Kupp coming back next year. You got Matt Stafford. And if he wants to win something, I think that's the team to do it with. I mean, that's like they could go deep next year, especially
Depends
with the
what A-Rob's contract.
Yeah, that's true too.
He's getting tired.
Yeah, well, yeah, but he got paid and there's guaranteed money with him.
Yeah,
You know?
Yeah.
They might eat that. Yeah.
Yeah, well, because they're going in. But the Rams, they're not necessarily in a rebuild because Aaron Donald said he's coming back. But then there's reports that Ramsey's not been playing good, but there's reports that he's going to get traded. Yeah, I agree with you, Cam. I could see that happening if they go and maybe do a trade to get A-Rob over there because A-Rob reminds me of I know Ethan would probably agree with me. A-Rob reminds me of like an AJ Green in a way. And AJ Green fit perfectly in the role that he had to do with Arizona. He wasn't a numbers type guy, but here and there he'll get you the 3 catches for 36 yards, which whatever. But I mean,
that's actually a really good comparison too, Ethan.
Yeah, that's pretty much what A-Rob did this year.
Now, like, I don't think that it was like it's like a whole rebuild in Arizona. I don't think that's what it is. I think D-Hop had some drama going on with that organization. I mean, if you watch their games, D-Hop was on the sideline. Him and Kyler were getting into altercations. Same with the head coach. Like, I think D-Hop was just either A, unhappy, or B, he just the team wasn't being ran correctly. I mean, the record didn't show it, but so I would love to see him come to the Cowboys, but I just think that they have to save money for Diggs, Parsons, CD. I mean, I don't know what they're doing with Tony
possibly Pollard.
I don't want Pollard, but
no, you don't want Pollard in Dallas.
We'll take him to Philly.
Franchise him next year, and then after that, let him go.
Yeah, but, Cam, I agree with you. We'll take him in Philly. If he'll come for a nice little deal.
A little pay cut there.
No, you know what? A good team for D-Hop that isn't really talked about, and they're a playoff team. They got a chance. New York Giants. They're struggling at receiver. They think Daniel Jones might be the guy. If you give him D-Hop and he struggles, then you know he's not the guy. If you give him D-Hop and he does something, you know, all right, we might have our guy. So I think that's a good spot for him. I also want to say one more thing. I know it's way back, but I want to give a little shout out. I got a text today, and it was a little fact, and it's about the Cowboys game this week. And shout out to Brad. Brad sent me a text out of nowhere today, and it says, teams that have won 11 straight have lost the 12th game of the year, or the 12th game afterwards, 11 out of 12 times in the last 10 years. So in the last 10 years, anybody that won 11 straight lost the 12th.
Is that what Purdy?
Yep. So that's what the Niners, they won straight. They lost it. Every team loses their 12th besides one, and it was the Patriots, I believe, when they they ended up losing this. Or no. It was Carolina, I think, with Cam. I think that was 112 in the last 10 years. But yeah, that I wanted to bring that up because I wanted to just let you guys know and let it seek into your minds that you might see the Cowboys in the NFC Championship.
I mean, I think that's a BS stat, to be honest. Like you say about a lot of stuff, I have to go and say that's a BS stat.